That was one of the only flights that like I've landed and my legs were like shaking. After the Pilatus for about 600 hours, that was a fun little plane. I enjoyed it. I only had that engine fail on me once. And that was departing out of Sholo. I was going Sholo back to Phoenix, and then sure enough, it was like 800 feet or so. We just, the NG just dropped. I was like, oh crap, here we go. And me and my buddy were sitting up there. And yeah, he was the one flying at the time, and so we were fast, so we just pitched up, traded airspeed for altitude, and swung it back around, and came back in to land. I had 8 people and a baby on the plane. And yeah, that was one of the only flights that like I've landed and my legs were like shaking. It's like like you're still trying to process like what exactly happened. This whole thing happened in 20 seconds, 30 seconds. So there wasn't a lot of time to react or do anything like that. It was just you just come back in, and yeah. Apparently, what happened is there was a PY leak or something, and so it tricked the FCU fuel control unit into thinking the plane was on the ground, and so it just killed the fuel. And brought the fuel down to I think like ground idle or something. Which there was no way. It was a hot day. We were heavy. There was no way that thing was gonna make it. But yeah, we landed. Told the passengers, hey, have some minor issues here. We're gonna work on it. Then we'll get back to you. And then I guess the company ended up ferrying out a Hangar from I think Denver. They flew it out from Denver down to Sholo, picked up the passengers, took them down to Phoenix, and then flew the Hangar back up to Denver. I believe that's what happened. But yeah, it was. But it's a fun plane though, man. I really enjoyed that Pilatus. I had a lot of good memories in it. It was my first step up into like the turbine world. It was before that I was flight instructing out of Deer Valley. And so I just just teaching all the international students for buku amount of hours, and then I got the call to go fly the Pilatus, and so it was like my first step into an actual plane, besides like an Archer or Seminole or something, so I have good fond memories of it, and then shortly after that, we just started running into more and more maintenance issues, and I decided that it just wasn't for me anymore, so I left there to go fly the Citation 5s. I mean, look, it's an old 5, it's an old straight wing, but like I said, that was my first jet, so I was just sitting there pulling gear on it, getting experience, but it was my first real introduction into Part 135 jet life, and so it wasn't bad. We ran an 8-6 schedule. The planes were somewhat kept up, and they were old, so they obviously had a lot of maintenance issues, but yeah, that's just the nature of the beast, You'll always have those passengers that something, nothing will be 100% correct, or I remember one time back when I was flying the Citation 5s years ago, we were doing a flight from, I forgot where it was, somewhere up in the Northeast going down to the Bahamas, and the Citation 5, it's a small little plane, small little jet, I mean, the Honda has more baggage space than the Citation 5 does. It's not a very big area back there. And these guys, this couple, they showed up with, like, I'm not kidding you, like 2 SUVs full of stuff that they wanted to take down there. And I mean, yeah, we made it work as much as we could. Obviously, we didn't take everything, but then that got the customer very irate, because then like, well, we were told that we could take all this stuff, and so then they start calling the dispatchers, in charter, and be like, hey, they're saying they were told they could take all this stuff, and charter saying absolutely not, like that, we didn't tell, they didn't say they were bringing this much. As we unloaded everything, and I took a picture of it, and it was a lot. I mean, you could fill up the whole dang plane with stuff. So it was this back and forth between charter, and then charter calls the broker, and then the broker's so the passengers are talking to the broker while we're talking to charter, and it's like all these middlemen trying to figure out what in the world we're going to do with all this stuff. We ended up, they ended up leaving like an SUVs full of stuff there, and then they said they'll just try to ship it or something. Or I'm not sure what they ended up doing with it. Once the door closed, it was no longer my concern. Yeah, it took them down to the Bahamas. And I guess they just bought a house there or something like that, and so they were trying to move a whole bunch of stuff over. Which is understandable, but I mean, you don't charter a Citation 5 to move a house worth of items.
Hey gang, here from Hangar Talk. Thank you so much for plugging into the channel, liking, subscribing. We appreciate all you continuous subscribers, and we can't wait to see you on the next one.